What's up YouTube, Jeff back again, and today an exciting video. I'm a little late with this, but I still really wanted to check out this phone. I just got in the very nice Oppo Find N. Now this is a foldable phone that is not really widely available in the US. It's being sold in China for the equivalent of around $1,200 US. I think that's the base model. Comes in 8 gigabytes, 256, or 12 and 512. This is the 12/512 model. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my first impressions. I just got this yesterday and set it up, so I just started using it. I'll probably make a video comparing it to the Fold 3, just because I think that'd be fun. I know quite a few people have done some stuff on this, but it's always kind of fun to experience it myself. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Drew Lips. He has a YouTube channel himself as well. He did sell me the phone because he made some videos about it over on his channel, and then he sold me the device. It's in perfect condition when it arrived. Shipped it really fast, so I obviously appreciate that quite a bit. And then also, it is Samsung season, so I want to remind you guys that if you do want to reserve your Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, you can head over to Samsung.com, still getting used to the keyboard, and reserve it. I'll drop the link below if anyone's interested. But let's get into it. So the Oppo Find N is much different than the Galaxy Z Fold 3 in quite a few ways. First of all, here's my Pixel 6 Pro. You can see it's a much shorter phone, obviously, than a regular slab phone, whereas the Z Fold 3 is really tall, right? In addition to be thick. Well, this phone is also thick, obviously, because it is still foldable, but it's not nearly as tall. And the other thing that makes this phone incredibly interesting to me personally is that it's got a nice wide cover display. So I can still very easily use the keyboard, right? You know, I can easily type, send, tweet now. It's very easy to type on this. Whereas on my Galaxy Z Fold 3, one of the big limitations I find is that it's very difficult to just, walk around with the phone in one hand and answer text messages or things throughout my day. Is one of the reasons that I stopped using it as my daily driver or my daily phone, and I went back to the Pixel 6 Pro once I got that device. So that already takes care of one of my big gripes about the Z Fold 3. But not only that, this phone has another thing that makes it better than the Z Fold 3, in my opinion and a lot of other people's opinion. If you unfold this phone, you'll notice that it is very difficult to actually see the crease. I mean, it is very hard. You've got to look at it at a very specific angle. And even if you look at it at this very specific angle, you'll notice that even at this very specific angle, which we have here, it's still kind of difficult to see that crease. And the reason for that is because what they did is they actually made it so that it seems, at least from looking at it, because if you feel it, there's actually a little bit of a crease on either side of the center, but it's a gradual kind of slope from side to side. You can kind of feel it if you just put your hand across here. And then that kind of makes it, easier for them to get it to fold in a more fluid motion, but then you also don't see the crease in such an aggressive way. So I think this is personally a huge advantage. A lot of things that people have said about not liking foldables and all that stuff comes from the fact that you can see the crease in the Z Fold 3, and it is pretty visible. Even if eventually you forget about it, it's pretty visible. You can see, even when it's on, it's dark, when it's completely black, it's still very hard unless it's off axis. Like even right here, you can't see that there's a crease in there. It's pretty impressive. I'm pretty impressed with it overall. There are some limitations to it though, of course, just like with anything. The main limitations are the aspect ratio when it's unfolded is more like a square, which isn't great for a lot of reasons. One of those reasons being when you're scrolling through Twitter, you really have to rotate the phone to get kind of the nice looking orientation. This is even more evident with something like your Facebook, like this. It's gonna look weird if you do it this way. It's got the gray bars, right? Some apps you can fix some things, but some of them you can't. Also, some of them only open in a fixed orientation, like YouTube Studio. You guys can see YouTube Studio only opens in a particular orientation. Yeah, a lot of different things that are kind of limitations. You also, when you watch your YouTube, you know, if you watch a video, even if you go full screen on it, obviously you've got pretty aggressively large bars there. So there are some things about the device. And I know if you watch Flossie Carter's video, Instagram, although I don't really use Instagram that much, I need to start using it more. But Instagram is probably the biggest culprit. You know, you've either got this, or if you turn it this way, you've got this. You can also push it full screen, but if you push it full screen, then stuff gets clipped. No matter how you rotate it, it gets clipped on either side, which is super annoying. So, you know, it does have those limitations, but I will say, if they just made it, and this is something that quite a few other people have mentioned, if they just made this a little bit taller so that those limitations are not a problem, the actual form factor of this device is just incredible. Having this size device for when you just want to answer a message or something, or you just want to shoot a quick photo, is really nice. And I find it less intrusive to carry in my pocket than I did the Z Fold 3. Now, don't get me wrong, this phone is pretty heavy. It's a heavy phone, right? Of course, you know, you've got basically two phones back to back in order to unfold it into a tablet. So of course it's heavy. It's certainly heavier than my Pixel 6 Pro, and feeling them side by side, you know, it's enough to be very obvious. But it also feels a little bit nicer in the pocket because it doesn't have that super long form factor. If you're wearing jeans or something, you know, it's not poking you because it is so long. And that's something that with this one, because it is a little shorter, it's kind of nice. So, you know, there's compromises to be made. The fingerprint sensor on this thing is amazing. The build quality is amazing. I feel like this thing just opens and closes in a much more fluid kind of motion than the Z Fold 3. You do have to swipe up when you go back to the home screen, but that's really not a big deal. But I just feel like it closes and opens a lot smoother. It just feels more fluid. And that could be because of the hinge technology that Oppo has come up with. I did take off the front screen protector. The front screen protector on this thing is really bad. I don't know if Drew had a problem with it, but as soon as I started using it yesterday and put it in my pocket, the front screen protector got scratched. So I removed it. I mean, I don't like having scratches on the screen protector. I don't like using a screen protector, period. I'm a little more hesitant to remove the inside one without kind of seeing if other people have done it, because I may end up keeping this device. I don't know if I'm gonna sell it yet because I know someone's gonna ask. I'm really not sure about that yet. We'll find out. So if I decide to sell it, I'll certainly let you guys know. But right now, I'm really liking it. So I may keep this at least until the end of the year, right? Eventually, I'll sell it probably because, you know, there's 30, 40, 50 phones that come out every year. So can't keep them all. But I might keep this one for a while anyway. Anyway, those are my first impressions. I really do like this phone. Obviously, it's very expensive. For the most part, you're going to see that, you know, you're paying $1,500 to $1,600 for this, maybe even up to $1,800 for this configuration. Drew gave me a nice deal. So again, huge shout out to him. I really do appreciate it, but you're going to pay a lot of markup. That's more than the price you would pay equivalently in China. So I don't recommend importing this phone because you're not going to get 5G. I'm using T-Mobile. I don't know if you guys saw. I've got 4G service there. It's fine. It works good. The LTE is fast. I'm in a big city in Phoenix, Arizona, so that helps. But you're not going to get 5G. And there's a lot of Oppo, like Chinese apps bloat that you don't want on here. You got to sideload the Play Store. You know, there's some things about this that you wouldn't want to necessarily do it unless, you know, you're just a really big enthusiast like me and you want to play with it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my first impressions of the Oppo Find N. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe for future content like this, and hit the notifications icon if you want to be notified of future videos. I am going to have a huge giveaway announcement tomorrow concerning the Galaxy S22 Ultra. It's going to be a collaboration with me and a few other YouTubers. So if you guys want to enter to win a Galaxy S22 Ultra and some other prizes, please, please, please check out tomorrow's video. Again, the registration link for the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra will be in the link below and in the description. Follow me on Twitter if you guys are interested as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.